actress. We all know her from so many things, Eureka, and if you go way back, Low Down Dirty Shame, and Posse. So please join me in welcoming Miss Salli Richardson Whitfield. So Sally's also my friend. So I have some cards. I have cards here to keep us on track, so we can have a real conversation. I got it. And it's about them and not us. So bear with us a little bit. But can we still call you an actress? Can we still refer to you as that?
I people ask me this a lot. Am I, would I act again? And at this point in my life, I never say never. I do get very inspired by some of the actors that I get to work with now, and I feel like I've learned more. So, but I'd say right now it's director. Yeah.
No, it's Emmy Award nominated director and producer. You've built such an amazing career over 30 years, from acting to directing to producing.
It might be more, but
might be more. Okay, well, we won't tell everyone. We won't tell everyone that. But how do you manage and how do you balance wearing so many hats?
Sometimes I think it's just what I was born to do, and then as a Black woman, this is just what our life is, and we just do balance. I feel that everything I'm involved with are things that I'm really passionate about, so it doesn't necessarily feel like work to me. And my kids are here, and I always say that, and my husband's at home dealing with house stuff. All of a sudden, we're something broke, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna stay. But because I have that base at home, which I think I try to tell people coming up in the business, that if it's just work, at the end of the day, you're going to be unhappy. You have to have that base. Or for me, I do. It's been important, and I think it's what keeps me grounded, and it's what I do everything for. And I think that's, at the end of the day, that's what fulfills me.
Now, when did you get the acting bug? Did it just creep up on you, or was this always the goal? When did that happen?
Well, me having to dive into some stuff for you guys for old pictures, I realized as a young kid, I was always doing performances in the house. Like, seriously, put on a record player, sing to Minnie Riperton for the house, set up my dolls as a play that I directed. So I really was doing this all the time. And then I was singing as a young kid, was traveling with a choir, the Chicago Children's Choir, if anybody's from Chicago. So it was always in my blood. But as I got older, it just seemed to be the good thing that I was good at. Mm-hmm. And the same as stopping to act and directing, I kind of just rolled into it. And I followed sort of this universe, like the universe and God is saying, this is your direction, and I didn't say no to it.
Would you say, so early on, would you say that laid the foundation for the confidence that you had to even launch into directing? What was the first thing you directed?
First thing that I directed was my TV show, Eureka. Mm-hmm. And I've told this story many times, that the reason why I was inspired to direct it or to ask them, could I be a part of it, was because I did Ava DuVernay's first film, I Will Follow. And during that, I was probably one of those actors that was talking too much, giving my opinion. And Ava said to me at some point...
They were like, you do it, Salli.
But, at that point, I probably had more experience on the set than she did. And she said to me at some point, I think you're a director and you don't know it. Mm-hmm. And I really took that to heart, and I thought about all these times that I'd been on set and was asking questions, and early films where I'm sitting back going, I don't know why you're doing this, you could just do this. And so I went back to my show and I asked that they would give me an opportunity. I also went to a few directors that I really respected in the TV world and shadowed them. And then Ava gave me some blocking tapes and books, and just really, dove deep, because, you may want to do things as like actors who don't have a craft and don't study it. You got to do the stuff behind the scenes too. And they gave me a shot. So that was my first, and it was a big show. It was a lot of visual effects and action stuff. So I really, for my first episode, it was a good training ground for me.
So, I mean, there's a lot of actors who want to get behind the camera and direct and feel like they can direct. When did you know, or how did you know, that you could actually direct and direct well? And did you, well, answer that question first.
Well, I think that in that first episode, about like an hour or two in, the director producer on the show, who was there, overseeing, make sure I didn't, run the ship into the side of the road here. But he said, I'm leaving, you got it. And honestly, I felt like, oh, I understand this, I get it.
So were you scared though?
Of course I was scared, all during, it's while you're prepping, you're scared. Then once you get in an hour or two, you go, okay, I kind of, this feels not as hard. It's hard, but it just felt like it was something I was supposed to do. And after that first episode, then I got another one, and I'm still nervous at times. When I go on a new show, new crew, you still have those little nerves, and if you don't, that's not good, because you should be doing things that scare you, because that's what makes you grow, But I just instinctively knew that this was going to, after doing the first episode, that this was going to be my next step. And I was on the show for, a few years. It wasn't the time to transition.
Playing Allison Blake.
Playing Allison Blake. And then, when that show was over, I got another series. And it was like 10 episodes on the air. It was called Sketchers, or Stitchers. It's been a while, Stitchers. But I knew, I said, oh, this show I should be able to start directing again. And I did. And and then things kept moving, and then all of a sudden I wasn't acting anymore.
So was there a moment when you said, I'm a director? Like, when was that celebrated moment when you were like, oh shit, I'm a director? Like, what was that moment?
I think sometimes I'm still in that.
Well, we need to have it with her. Like, oh shit, she's a director, right?
She knows me well. I'm very, I don't look at my life that way. It just kind of is this journey, and I'm trying to make sure my kids can go to college, and
Before that, it was like, can we pay for the school?
Yeah, I know, it's all those things. But I still am kind of in this moment, and having the opportunity to do some of the projects that I'm involved with, like Gilded and this new show, Task. There are times I'm going, whoa, I cannot believe I went from that first episode to Eureka, and now I'm on a show that's, another show that's getting, notoriety, and that people are talking about award season, and it's still, I still am shocked by it, although at this point, I do feel very confident that I deserve to be here. Absolutely. And that I know what I'm doing, and that other people respect it in that way. And that's, and I feel okay saying that at this point,